For as long as I can remember, I have always been the kind of person who, in order to get sleep on those difficult nights, I would always play a lot of noise. And I do mean noise. I remember back when I was a teenager, I would always play just this really loud music on the radio or on my CDs or anything like that, just to get myself to calm down, get myself to clear my thoughts, and to get some sleep. At the time, I don't think I really understood what was going on, but of course, that was decades ago now, and I do understand a little bit more of what was going on at the time. And so I think today would be a good day to chat a little bit about noise and just how it affects us and what it has to do with our kind of mental well being. And while we chat about that, I'm going to be sharing with you this drawing that you see. I already started the some of the line work for it with a pencil, and I'll be inking it in and adding some shading and things like that. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you enjoy this little chat that we're going to have together. Before we get started, though, I would like you to know that I have provided the links to these pens, to the materials that I'm using, in the description of the video in case you are interested in getting pens and you like the way these are working here for me. You can always try them out, check them out from my links. I do appreciate that a lot. Usually, whenever you follow my links, I get a little bit of a kickback from, in this case, it would be Amazon, which always helps me a lot. It gets a tiny little bit of money in my bank account at the end there. I do appreciate your help, though. So, how about let's get started with our little chat today. I suppose that in order to get started, it's probably a good idea to share with you a few things about myself that I feel have a lot to do with how I feel about noise. And the first is that I am and pretty much always have been a very anxious person. Maybe it's just maybe it's my upbringing, maybe it's genetic, but I am simply an anxious person, and so I'm always trying to kind of counteract that, trying to find ways to kind of get myself to calm down, get myself to just live a little bit less stressed out, a little bit less anxious. So that's pretty much why I'm always talking about it and always trying to figure out ways to do better. And something else that I think is very important as well is that I live in a very noisy part of the world. I live in Southern California, and those of you who live here know that there are always cars, always, always cars. And I know that there are some areas that are noisier than where I live, but this area is definitely not quiet in the slightest. I very much live right in front of a major street. If any of you know Route 66, that's where I'm at. I'm right off of Route 66 in a part of the country where it is still an important kind of sort of highway, and there's so much traffic here. And it is right in just I can throw a stone and hit cars from here, which I won't, I promise. It's come across my mind, but I don't. And there's just tons of motorcycles and cars and everybody with their loud cars just. And so it's been on my mind a lot for a long time, all that noise. And so I feel like just noisiness has been a part of my life for a very long time. Everywhere that I've lived ever since I was little has always been noisy, basically just like this. I've always lived in front of a very busy street. So you'd think that by now I'd be used to it. But getting used to something doesn't make it any better. It really doesn't, especially for the kind of noise that I'm talking about. And so putting these things together inside of my particular head, and you may be like me, maybe not, but for me, that noise, that external noise, put together with the internal noise that I've got going on. So just all these thoughts kind of swirling around, all these things that I'm worrying about, things that I want to do. So essentially things that I'm excited about and things that I'm worried about. All these worries inside of my head, put together with all that noise that's going on externally, can be very overwhelming. And so in my world, one thing that I've been really aiming to do for a very long time is to kind of reduce that noise, to reduce that chaos that kind of results from all of that noise. And it really came into view for me recently because the last time that I got sick, so just a couple of weeks ago, and it's still lingering right now, I'm still trying to get over it. What ended up happening is I got a pretty bad ear infection, which gave me these terrible headaches. And for some reason, the infection just didn't want to clear up, even with proper medication and assistance. And so for a good while, I resisted the urge to put in any kind of earbuds or any kind of things in my ears, just because they were, kind of tender and I didn't want to mess with them and wanted them to be able to heal up and to do what they needed to do while I got better. And so I had this strange couple of weeks where I didn't listen to music. I didn't watch stuff. I didn't even want to listen to things from far away. I was having such a hard time hearing, and I felt like I was underwater the whole time. And thankfully, it's mostly cleared up. But I had a really strange moment just this last weekend when. So again, I haven't been listening to anything, and I actually haven't even been outside much just because I've been recovering. So I finally went outside on a Sunday morning, and I set myself on the back porch, which kind of faces the main road there. And because it was Sunday morning, it was so quiet. It was eerily quiet, actually. It was eerie how quiet it was. And I sat there with my dog and just looked out, and there was no noise. It was silent. And for someone, as I said, who has lived in an area that is always noisy, always, always noisy, even in the middle of the night, it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., there's always noise. There's always something going on, some kind of rattling, somebody with a loud muffler, something ridiculous, always noisy. The people down the street, there's a food truck that comes by and plays loud music at all times of the night before the police comes and tells them to pack it up and leave. There's always noise. There's always noise. So it felt so miraculous. It felt like, I'd hate to use this word, but it felt like enlightenment to step outside and feel nothing. Just an occasional bird chirping, just a bee flying past me, just these tiny little gentle noises. And I realized that that's something that I just really needed in my life for such a long time, are those nice quiet moments. And so what really this has given me the clarity of thought finally to really consider how the noise that I willingly use in my life, how it affects me. And so my goal right now, which I'm actually doing okay at, is to continue to not listen to too many things. So this is going to include both music and videos and movies and pretty much everything that I currently use to try to fill up my time. I don't really listen to too many audiobooks or anything like that, so I'm just going to do my best and try to clear up my mind that way, kind of give myself a little bit of clarity, hopefully, and see how that goes. And so I would encourage you as well, if you have a lot of noise in your life, see how it feels to not have that noise. See what kind of a difference it can make in your life or in your mindset to find some quiet. If you can, of course. I know it's a privilege that not everybody has, but if you can, see what that can do for you. And if you are someone who lives somewhere that is quiet, just know that it is a huge blessing. It is so wonderful. Our world is so noisy today. It's a little bit maddening sometimes for some of us. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you do have some nice quiet spaces to enjoy, please enjoy them. And so I am going to say goodbye to you right now and allow you to watch the rest of this video. I will play a little bit of light music just in case, for whatever reason, you do need the noise. But again, you can always mute. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Let me know what your experiences are with this kind of thing. How do you feel about noise? Do you really like having music playing? Do you think it's necessary, or is it just something you've gotten used to always have some kind of noise playing while you're working on something? Does it really help you? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know what you think about that. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.